Hello everybody and welcome to another Blender Create tutorial. We're going to export this into Unreal, so stay with me, let's learn together, let's create an object, animate it, give it an effect and put it in our games. So thank you to all my new subscribers. I've noticed quite a few people have subscribed recently, so I appreciate all of you. If you're new to the channel, so basically what I do here is I make Unreal content, Blender content, tutorials. I'm currently developing a couple of games. So yeah, if you subscribe to the channel, you can request tutorials, and when I get around to doing them, because I've got quite an extensive list, I'll happily take some time away from the things that I'm doing and I'll make those tutorials for you. I do post quite often on the community tab on YouTube, so you can hop on there and check for updates. Some of my latest tutorials that are coming out are on the list. So without further ado, let's jump into here. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe and hit the like button. If you want to go any further than that, there's a Patreon account, so you can join and become a member on there. And there's also a PayPal if you want to make donations, but you do not have to, it's just there in case you want to. So I appreciate you all regardless. So let's create something now for the games. I'm going to show you what we're going to make and then we can make that together. So let's open up Unreal, click play, and we can see just here we have our music box and we have the lighting effect with the holes in the object for the light to come through. I'm going to show you now how to make this for yourself. Put that into your own games. So let's get started. So first of all, let's open up Blender. If you've never used Blender before, don't worry, I'll run you through every single step that you need to do to make the object. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you haven't already, go to File, New, and then General. Make sure you save the progress on any projects that you're already working on. Obviously this is the starter cube, so I'm not going to save it. The next step we're going to do is we're going to go into edit mode, and to do that we press the tab key on the keyboard. So this will highlight our vertices, our edges and our faces, and enable us to edit the cube how we would like to. So we're going to press S to scale it, and then we're going to press Z to scale it on the Z. Drag the mouse towards the center to make it smaller, slightly more narrow, and then left click when we have it to the size that we'd like. The next thing we're going to do, now we need to tell Blender that we've adjusted the scale of the object. So we come out of edit mode with the tab key, make sure our cube, square, block is highlighted, and then we're going to press Ctrl and A, and we're going to set and apply the rotation and scale. So then we're going to press tab again, press 2 on the keyboard to enter edge selection, and then we're going to select all the corner edges just like this. So shift and left click, so you highlight the first one, hold shift, left click, hold shift, left click, and hold shift, left click. Then we're going to press down the control key, the left control key, and press B to bevel, and we're going to slide that in, so bring the mouse cursor out. Then using the mouse wheel, we're going to scroll up to add more of a curved edge, bringing that in, creating the cube into a circular disc. Once we're happy with that, we can come out of edit mode, highlight our circular cylinder disc, right click, and then auto smooth. If you're on earlier versions of Blender and not quite on the up-to-date ones, I don't think auto smooth is in your context menu, but you can find that in the settings for your object, which is on the control panel at the side. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to press tab, go into edit mode. Sorry, before we do that, I'm going to Control A, rotation scale, and then press tab, into edit mode, press 3 on the keyboard. So we're going to highlight our face, press I for inset, and then we're going to hold shift and then drag the mouse slowly to the center to make a small gap between the outer edge and the now in a circle. Press E to extrude and then Z to go down the Z axis. Hold shift and then drag downwards with the mouse and create a little bit of a lip or an edge. When you're happy, left click and then you press I for inset. Hold shift and then drag a little bit in to make another gap. Left click and then E and Z and then hold shift and drag up. Make sure you press the Z key so it doesn't move around. Only on the axis that you want it to. When you're happy with it, so it should kind of look like this, which is fine, and then we're done with that. That's just the base done. So the next step we're going to do is make our dome for the light to pass through. So the first thing we need to do is shift and A. So come out of edit mode, hold shift, press A on the keyboard, go to mesh and then click on UV sphere. Now we don't want the full sphere, we just want half, so we can drag that up, press the / key to isolate and then tab key, select these bottom faces and then hold control and press the plus key on the numpad, and then you will slowly increase your selection. And one more, and then we can press the delete key and then get rid of faces. So highlight our, half a sphere now. Press Control and 2 on the keyboard. Go down to our little spanner here for our modifier panel, and then you want to apply that. And then if you go into your edit mode, you'll notice it has many more faces. So we've increased the resolution of the object. So what we're going to do now is, if you haven't already done so, you'll see I have an option called Loop Tools if I right click. Now to have that activated, we can go up to Edit, to Preferences, Add-ons, click on the search bar, type Loop, and then you'll have an option called Loop Tools. Enable that. When you're in edit mode, you'll have the option then added to your right click menu. So this part is pretty much just a free-for-all. So you're going to select multiple faces. Just make sure you get an even amount so it doesn't look like this, for example, something like that or that. So make sure you get an even amount, and then you're going to right click and then create circle, and then you can scale that in or out to make it slightly bigger. You're going to make multiple of these cuts, so you're just going to grab some faces, right click, circle. This is how simple it is, and then you're just going to do the same again over here. Make sure you highlight so it's even amounts, right click, circle. So continue this pattern, so right click, circle all the way around in random spots, and then here, and then some smaller ones, and some slightly smaller ones again, maybe like that, and keep going all the way around until you have completely filled, obviously with some gaps, the entire half sphere with circular patterns. And then we're going to add some more. You can skip ahead on the video if you've done this bit. Obviously I'm doing this in real time, so I'm not speeding the video up. I want it to be nice and slow, steady pace so everybody can follow along, because not everybody's as quick and not everybody has the same amount of experience. So you're just going to have to bear with me and the soft music in the background and just model along with me. So we add as many as we can, and once we have finished adding those circles, we are going to do a couple more steps. I'll just add a few more. one here. Excuse me. Okay, so now that we've added the circles onto the half sphere that we have over here, we're going to select the faces where the circles are, which will be these ones. And you're going to highlight all of the faces that are within the circle itself. So shift and left click to select an extra face without, otherwise if you click without holding shift, you'll lose. And then if you do that accidentally, just press Control and Z for Zulu, and you'll get back what you've selected. So don't panic too much. So nearly done now. Just a few more. Once we've selected all of the circle faces, we can press the delete key. Make sure you press the delete key and then select faces, not edges, not vertices. So just make sure I've got them all. I believe I have. And then you press the delete key, faces. So you should be left with a half sphere, kind of a block of cheese kind of effect. And you're going to left click on your half sphere and then auto smooth. Control A, rotation and scale, and then we're going to give it a little bit of thickness. So highlight our half sphere again, modifiers, and I'm going to go to solidify. This will give it a bit more of an edge, if you noticed on the inside there, and this also helps with face orientation. So if we deactivate that, we can see that this red zone means that it's not going to render. So if you were to look through these holes, you would see straight through on every area that's red. So in order to adjust that, we can add a solidify, and now we have all of the faces receiving the correct lighting and rendering in-game. We're going to remove offset, set that to 0. I'm going to adjust the thickness slightly, so hold shift and then click and drag, and I think that should be about right. So you can copy these settings if you want. We'll just set it to 0.002. Should be fine. Now this will help us reduce light leakage in Unreal. If a surface is too thin, then you can end up with light leaking through, and we won't get that same effect with the light shining through the holes in game. So we're going to apply this by left clicking here, click apply, and now that's set and done. So press the / key and now we have our base and we have our spinning sphere or half sphere. Press S to scale, hold shift and then slowly drag it in to make it fit in this groove. So you can press 7 on the numpad to go above, press S, hold shift and then slowly drag it into the center. So you want it to be about there, and then G and Z key to move that down into position. That'll do. It's a nice even edge all the way around. That should work perfectly fine. Okay, so now that we know that all of our faces are the correct way, so our face orientation is all blue, so it should be fine. We can deactivate that. We can check the lighting to see the shadows. They seem to be working okay. The light's going through alright. And Control A, all transforms, and done. So now we can save this. So let's go to File. We don't want to join these together, we need these as two separate objects. So let's go to File and Save, and you can name this Night Light I'm going to put tutorial 2 just because I've already got one. And click save. And then we're going to export as an FBX. And then go to mesh, copy. You can highlight this if you've got textures already assigned. And then go to geometry, normals, and then change to face and export. Okay, let's go into Unreal. Let's go to new level, basic, create. Okay, so you've got your level loaded up and you have your map maybe half created, quarter created, fully created, and you want a lighting effect for a bedroom or hallway. So this is a good way to add just a little bit of a creepy atmosphere. Night lights can be quite creepy if you use them in the right way with some really strange background music. Or you could have like a ghost interact with it by adding a trigger, or, you know, anything you like. I'll show you how to do those kinds of things as well, but not necessarily in this video. So now we're going to add this into the game. So we're going to go to wherever you're saving your custom meshes. I have a lot of custom meshes, so just bear with me. I'm creating stuff all the time. So we're going to add new folder, tutorial items, and then I'll pop it in here. So we go to import, we go to documents, and then down here we have, let's have a look. So it should be nightlight, tutorial2.fbx, open, and then we're going to import. So reset to defaults, click the import button, and we have our base, and we have our top mesh, our plate with the holes on. So we're going to get our scale, we're going to bring that down. Let's set the scale down to maybe 0.3, and then we can copy the scale onto our dome, paste, and then we're going to copy our position. Right click, copy, left click, and then paste, so it's in the right spot, and then bring that up. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, we need to see what we're doing, so let's change to unlit mode. Let's get rid of our default directional light, and let's add some basic shapes just to plot out a wall of sorts, and then drag and then copy by holding the Alt key, and then we can create a ceiling too. Let's flip that round, and then we can test to see if we got it right. So let's drag this over, and then we can move this into the center. Okay, so a few more steps to go. What we can do now is we can highlight our dome, and we want to set it to movable, and then we're going to go to where it has our name of our object, just here with the plus button. We're going to add a rotation, so rotation movement, rotating movement, which is this one, and we want to know which axis that we want to spin it on. So we know that it's the blue one, and we know the blue one is the Z-axis because we want it to spin this way. So what we do is we go to our rotating movement. It should already be set to Z. I'm going to change that to 10. Now if we go in game, we can see that our dome is spinning nice and slowly. If you want it to spin the other way, the simple thing to do, highlight your object, go to rotating movement, and then in front of the 10 you set -10, and then if you go in game it will spin the opposite way. And you can see there it's updating as it moves. It keeps on spinning and spinning. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a point light, and we're going to place our point light inside. So we have already got our location, haven't we? So we can paste, press G so we can see our light, bring it into the scene, make sure it's inside of our dome, and then come out of unlit mode to lit, and we can see here that we have our light projected. The preview is unbuilt lights, so to get rid of that temporarily, but don't use this all the time because it can have a huge impact on game performance. Unless you're running a 3090 or a 4090, then you can have quite a lot of movable lights in game, but I don't recommend it. So set it to movable just for testing purposes, and if you click the play button, because the dome is spinning, we now have a cool disco ball / nightlight effect. Now to make this a little bit more kind of ambient, you know, a bit more of a spooky feel, we could have our small window here, a bed here, a desk, and we can have this smaller object sat on a desk with the light shining through, curtains blowing in the wind, with some creepy music playing, for example. So you can change the attenuation distance of the light. To do that, you can do it two ways. You can adjust it here in the light settings or properties, or press R on the keyboard and then drag out. So about there is fine. We can also change the color, and we can, what else can we change? We'll change the amount of indirect lighting to maybe set that to 2. And now if we go in game, we have this really cool kind of like nightlight bedroom effect. It's the same effect that they used in the Alien Isolation game with the butterfly room, the kids' playroom. This is exactly the way they set that up and had that work. They just made an object with cutouts of a butterfly shape, which will give you the same effect on the walls, but in the shape of a butterfly. So, yeah, you can help the channel grow by clicking that like button or subscribing, and there's other ways you can also support the channel. But like I said, if you appreciate these videos and it's helping you with your projects, giving you new ideas and ways to do things, then please show the love back. You know, it does take me a lot of time to do these videos and upload them, and I'm only a one-man army. I'm trying my best, so please be patient. If you're waiting for a tutorial, I will get it up soon. But yeah, let me know how you're getting on with your own projects. You can join the Discord channel and you can send images of your work. If you need help with it, let me know. I don't mind jumping in and helping you out with your own projects. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Click the notification button so you know when it's up, and keep an eye on the community posts as well, because I'll post there often for updates. So thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye.